Hello, Teal Nation, and welcome to the special virtual ceremony honoring the class of 2020. I'm Dr. David DiCenzo, President of Coastal Carolina University. While we are excited to recognize each graduate today, confer your degrees, and welcome you as new alumni, please know that this does not replace your commencement ceremony. We look forward to having the spring class of 2020 back on campus in the future to participate in a traditional ceremony. As we begin today's celebration, I want to take a moment to speak to the graduates directly. To the spring class of 2020, I'm extremely proud of all of you, of what you've accomplished and overcome throughout your journey. It hasn't been easy, but through it all, this class has truly embodied the spirit of the Chanticleer, a proud and fierce rooster who is quick-thinking and crafty. When a Chanticleer is faced with an obstacle, it finds a solution to the problem. And this class knows all too well what it's like to face an obstacle. Major hurricanes heavily impacted CCU each fall since 2016, bringing with them massive amounts of damage, record-setting floods, and unexpected interruptions to your classes. As a Chanticleer, you pushed through with determination and grit. You rose above it all, stronger than ever, and then right at the finish line, you were hit with a global pandemic. This was, and still is, uncharted territory, but you found a way to adapt, creating a new normal in the midst of chaos. You stayed the course, and you earned your degree. A Chanticleer always has its eyes fixed on the horizon, ready to rise with the sun and take on new accomplishments. As you leave CCU, many exciting opportunities lie on your horizon, and just like the Chanticleer, the class of 2020 is ready to rise. At this time, we would like to recognize the graduating students whose stellar academic work has qualified them for the President's Award for Academic Achievement. These remarkable students have earned the highest academic distinction, summa cum laude, because they have earned a perfect 4.0 grade point average for all of their academic work. The Spring 2020 President's Award candidates are Ramsey Claire Diven from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Art Studio. Nellie Gray Eckert from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Art Studio and Graphic Design, and is also a member of the HTC Honors College. Aaron Elliott from Fuqua Farina, North Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Hospitality, Resort, and Tourism Management. Stephanie Marie Christina Henning from Conway, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Marketing. Caitlin Marie Hinnerschitz from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Education and Elementary Education, and is also a member of the HTC Honors College. Haley Elizabeth Johnson from Conway, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in English. Julie Cavejohn from Annandale, Virginia, earning a Bachelor of Science in Marine Science, and is also a member of the HTC Honors College. Jillian Michelle Kushik from Clayton, North Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Education and Middle Level Education. Catherine Lynn Rumry from Aurora, Illinois, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Education and Elementary Education. Lauren Elizabeth Smith from Trenton, New Jersey, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Communication. Emma Ryan Thompson from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science. Jenna Marie Thompson from Prescott Valley, Arizona, earning a Bachelor of Science in Biology, and is also a member of the HTC Honors College. Savannah Elizabeth Watson from Surfside Beach, South Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Education and Elementary Education, and is also a member of the HTC Honors College. And Catherine Carter Williams from Waxhaw, North Carolina, earning a Bachelor of Arts in Communication. Congratulations to each of you on this outstanding achievement.
Hello, I'm Dan Ennis, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at Coastal Carolina University. Each year, the Board of Trustees recognizes qualified retiring faculty members with the title of Distinguished Professor Emeritus, Emeritus Professor, Distinguished Instructor, or Distinguished Lecturer. These titles acknowledge the value of an accumulated record of teaching, research, and community service. At this time, Treely McCann is hereby recognized as Distinguished Professor Emeritus. McCann is a native of Rochester, New York, which exposed her to a rich tradition in the graphic arts and photography. She discovered printmaking as her medium of choice while attending SUNY Oswego. In addition to numerous solo exhibitions, McCann's award-winning work has been featured in juried international, national, regional, and selected exhibits throughout her career. McCann has served as a professor in CCU's Department of Visual Arts since 1990 and plans to continue her work as a practicing artist in retirement. We appreciate Professor McCann's years of service to her department, her college, and this university. Congratulations.
Hello, fellow Chanticleers. I'm Michael Kelly. I graduated from Coastal Carolina in 1992, and I am proud to say that. I'm also incredibly honored to be speaking to you guys today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an actor. I spent the better part of the last decade on a show called House of Cards, and recently joined John Krasinski on Amazon's Jack Ryan. If you haven't seen it, it's a good show. Maybe check it out. Anyway, enough about me. Let's get this out of the way up top. This sucks. I'm sure all of you would much rather be draped in a black cap and gown, walking alongside your fellow classmates, celebrating the end of your college years in one last hurrah before setting off into the real world to make your way in life. Trust me, I am in New York City. I would much rather be there with you. In fact, I wish we were all sitting on Myrtle Beach reminiscing about our days at Coastal Carolina. But we're not. We're here. And I'll be honest, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. When you guys started at Coastal 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe even 7 years ago, you were made a promise that if you put your head down and you did the work, not only would you be prepared for the real world, but well, you would get a celebration to end your college years, a celebration you would never forget. And every class before you had one, and hopefully every class after you will as well. And you didn't get one. It's not fair. It's a raw deal is what it is. So now you have a choice. You can sit here and feel badly for yourselves, which nobody would blame you for doing, or you could choose to see this as a lesson. One final lesson to cap off the last 4 to 7 years of lessons. The lesson: the world owes you nothing. You can do everything right in life and still things might not break in your favor. Maybe you miss out on that job. Maybe you get overlooked for a promotion. Maybe the person you were certain you're going to spend the rest of your life with decides they want to see other people. Maybe all the critics agree that you had one of the best male supporting actor performances of the year, and you still lose the Emmy to Peter Dinklage. Okay, maybe that last one was super specific, but I hope you follow me. It's the work, okay? The work is the important part. You may not get the result you earned every time, but if you keep putting your head down, and you keep working, and you keep pushing yourself, eventually you will find success. So, sure, this is unfair, but it's also part of life. It's a part of life that took me many years to accept as fact. And here you guys are. Most of you are in your early 20s, and you're getting to experience it before you even set off into the real world. I mean, there is something about being punched in the stomach on your way out the door and seeing yourself still standing afterwards. It gives you a confidence that usually takes years to achieve. So I don't know. I can't think of a greater gift than knowing you can take a hit and keep going. It's understandable also if you can't see that now, but trust me, years from now, you will probably see this as a blessing. And this is coming from a guy who walked and barely remembers any of it. I'll tell you right now, 24-year-old Michael Kelly could have used a stomach punch after graduation. You know what? Here's something else they don't tell you. You know, in the movies, when everyone throws their caps into the air when the ceremony commences, they don't do that in real life. No, in real life, you sit in the hot sun for hours wearing what's basically a light blanket while you're trying to balance the equivalent of a children's book on your head while you watch every single person in your class physically accept their diploma, which isn't even their real diploma. No, they mail that to you later. And after all that, you're going to sit in traffic while everyone who was at the ceremony leaves at the exact same time, and they all go to the exact same restaurant where there's going to be a 2-hour wait, and your parents or whoever is going to pressure you into leaving that cap and gown on. And all you really want to do is take it off and go home and sit on the couch, which you're probably doing right now. So bright side, congratulations. You're all college graduates. So high five each other. The only way we're allowed to high five these days, to yourself. Sorry about that. When they asked me to give this speech, I thought it was going to be to the Edwards College of Humanities and Fine Arts. And I wrote this speech for the young artists that I was super excited to give. And I worked really hard on, and I was just really excited about it. And then I found out that they wanted me to address the entire college. And while I was humbled and extremely flattered, I was at a loss for words. I mean, mostly because I already used all those words on the speech for the performing artists, but I didn't really think I'd be able to come up with more words. But the more I thought about it, two things crossed my mind, okay? One, they probably only asked me because if you do know me from TV, it's because you know me as that guy who was always delivering bad news to the president. So it's kind of fitting for the times. And two, I bet that I can make a few small adjustments and convince everyone that the performance arts speech is applicable to everyone. So here's a speech for everyone in terms that might seem specific to the performance arts, but I assure you apply to all of you. Pursue your dreams. I tell young actors, I tell people all the time that you have to want this more than anything. If this is what you're going to do, you have to pursue this as if it were the only thing that were going to make you happy. And if that's the case, then you have to pour every ounce of your soul into it, because you're constantly going to be told no and not now, and it's not your turn, and we're looking for somebody with more hair. But you can't let it stop you. Okay, you just can't. People will try to put you in a box. Don't let them. Don't allow people to define who you are. You set your own goals. The only thing you can control is how hard you work to achieve those goals. Don't sell yourself short. Be kind to everyone. Because, you should be kind to everyone, but also because you don't know what production assistant might be running the studio years from now. Or that guy or girl who's getting you coffee might be running the company where you apply for a job years later. In many of the jobs that I have gotten in recent years are because of the relationships that I made early in my career. Also because I'm an incredible actor with range, but... The relationships didn't hurt. I'm kidding. Look, but honestly, let's not kid ourselves, because a lot of it is luck. I won't refute the fact that I have been extremely lucky in life. But it's also true that you make your own luck. I worked hard for years before I ever got a break. For the first 7-8 years here in New York, it was always the other guy who got the lucky break. In fact, not that many years ago, I was around 30, late 30s, and I was ready to quit. I was going to go home, move home to Georgia, and build houses with my brother. I had gone through years of just missing out on jobs that would have changed my life, and it was killing me. And I called my manager, and I told him my decision, and he He pleaded with me. He said, give me one more year. Now, he knew I really wanted it, and he convinced me to keep going. And later that year, I booked a Clint Eastwood movie that changed my life. And I have been fortunate enough to be working pretty regularly since. I guess what I'm saying is, surround yourself with those people. Surround yourself with people who look out for you. My wife, my manager, my family, my friends, they convinced me not to quit. You know, they made me stay with it. You need those people when life gets heavy to help you stay strong in the face of adversity. People to remind you of your worth. You seek out those people in your life, and you be that person for the people in your life. You know, as I look out at all of you through my tiny screen in the comfort of my home, I'm reminded of what it's like to be young and wide-eyed, to have my entire life ahead of me, the uncertainty, the excitement, the anxiety. Embrace all of it. I'm envious of you. In these coming years, you are going to learn so much about yourself and the world. Be flexible. You know, just because you want something now doesn't mean that you're always going to want that. You open a new path. I started at Coastal Carolina in business, and I was convinced I was going to go to law school. And many of the actor friends that I came up with, they now have jobs completely different from the theater. They are all perfectly content. Happiness isn't found in the reward at the end. It's found on the journey. Now, I would like to share with you a few things that have helped me along the way. You know, maybe they help you, maybe they don't. Remember, you can do everything right in life and still end up watching your college graduation on your computer in your living room. But here they are. Okay. In work and in life, respect everyone for who and what they are. Travel. And once we're allowed to travel again. I have a wife and kids that I love beyond. I highly recommend starting a family, but don't rush yourself. And look, if you choose not to start a family, great decision also. But if you do start a family and you do plan to travel first. Because once you have kids, traveling it just gets so much harder. Just trust me on that one, you'll see. This is really important. Never settle in love. Never settle in work. And never settle in life. That is so important. Be a good person and fight injustice when you see it. Get involved in your communities because I'm telling you, giving is so much more rewarding than receiving. What else? If you can afford it, eat healthy and take up yoga. Trust me, your body will eventually revolt if you don't take care of it. Find enjoyment in the little things. Every day, find moments to laugh. Sing out loud, even if it's just in the shower. And dance. Maybe not in the shower, though. That's it. I wish you all the best, and I hope you all remain safe. My heart goes out to anyone who's sick or has family members who are sick. These are trying times, and we will get through them, and we'll be better for it. So, that's it. Congratulations. Go celebrate, just not within 6 feet of someone else. All right, jumps up.
And now the moment you all have been waiting for. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the people of the state, acting through their representatives in the General Assembly and the Board of Trustees of this university, and on the recommendation of the faculty thereof, I confer upon you the degree for which you have been recommended, which entitles you to all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. I now have a special request for members of the Coastal Carolina University class of 2020. Graduates, no matter where you are, will you please rise? If you are viewing this ceremony in your cap and gown, I ask that you move your tassels from the right side to the left to signify your status as a graduate. If you are participating today without a cap and gown, I hope that you will take a bow, give yourself a pat on the back, or celebrate with your friends and family. You are officially a graduate of Coastal Carolina University. Congratulations.
First and foremost, congratulations on being the first graduating class of the 2020 decade. No one could have predicted that we would be celebrating all of your great accomplishments online. But being the eternal optimist, let's look at the positive possibilities now that you have graduated, and we'll be receiving your teaching license very soon. First, going back to the fact that you are the first graduating class of a brand new decade, my advice specifically is to be proud of the fact that you will be the first class of the new 2020 decade. We will start out this first year with obvious challenges, but then you will still have the remainder of the decade. Think about how much can be accomplished in 10 years. In the last 10 years of your life, you got through middle and high school and graduated college. Think of all you accomplished in the past 10 years and then ask yourself where you want to be in the next 10 years. How will you take every advantage of your college education to prepare yourself to achieve goals so that in 2030 you'll look back at the last 10 years and be able to say, look at all I have accomplished. What's next? Second, you are graduating at a time when there is a great demand for new teachers. You've heard me discuss the supply and demand issues that the teaching profession is experiencing, and that issue is still very much present. Also, again, trying to be optimistic and look at the positive aspects of this current health and economic crisis. Because many parents and guardians have now had to homeschool their children, there's a newfound respect for the complicated knowledge and skill set that teachers have to have. I have heard over and over again how much respect communities now have for the teaching profession. Hopefully, this respect will evolve into a pay scale deserving of a profession that provides the foundational basis for the values, ideas, and beliefs in our society. More specifically about the employment prospects for teachers. In South Carolina alone, during the 2019-2020 school year, there will be 53,000 full-time and part-time positions available. What all this data means is that now that you have graduated, your employment prospects should be very positive. And even though the data I just mentioned is specific to South Carolina, I know that it is generalizable to almost all 50 states. So in this brief congratulatory presentation, I have tried to focus on two ideas. First, you are the first graduating class of 2020 and the beginning of a new decade. 10 years is a long time. Make goals and plans for what you want to accomplish by 2030. Don't come to the end of this decade and be the person saying, I wish I knew then what I know now. Think and plan to achieve your goals so that you do know what you need to know. Second, the job prospects and respect for the teaching profession is now very high. Now that you have graduated, find that job and continue to represent the Spadoni College of Education and Coastal Carolina University. Continue to be an advocate for making the teaching profession all that it can be. Congratulations and stay in touch. At this time, theater faculty member Christy McIntyre will announce the Spadoni College of Education candidates for degrees. Thank you.
Amanda Lynn Shanks. Arian Elise Booker. Vanessa Rose Borelli. Arenthia Lovett Bright Gray. Brendanique N. Brown. Kyle D. Brubaker. Melissa Ellen Cahill. Leslie Smith Causey, Christine Lynn Champlin, Kevin Allen Collier, Christopher John Condelli, Jeffrey Alexander Derrick, Raymond Joseph Doble, Eleanor Bourne Dozier, Melissa Ruth Cohen Duncan, Miriam F. Fisher, Philip Max Fleming, Shannon Elise Gilman, Beverly Dion Green, Christy Lynn Hamill, Danielle Antonia Hamilton, Jessica C. Heinlein, Laura Antonia Hickman, Shayla Christine Hoff, Brittany Lynn Hughes, Jacqueline Johnson, Stephanie Lynn Kiley, Luz Derry Killeen, Kevin Reed Kirksey, Carla Pamela Lopez, Casey Branham Lundeen, Felicia Elaine Martin, Joseph Kane Martin, Danielle Marie O'Shea, Jeff Gary Pilcher, Michelle Marie Pitosha, Marion Lee Pittman, Leah Hasselden Poston, Cornethia Danielle Presley, Shelley Ann Rapp, Tashika O. Reed, Melanie Amanda Rice, Jimmy Hoyt Scarborough, Christopher Jr. Skipper, Alicia Michelle Strickland, Jamie Solek Talkington, Ginger C. Velasco, Earth Inesia Wachter, Devin Erica Weeks, Tori Morgan Wensky, Lindley Renee Williams, Shaikiel Narshe Andrews, Annette Angulosi Gunn, magna cum laude, Hannah Grace Bazinet, Sarah Catherine Beck, Abigail Elizabeth Becker, cum laude, Kelsey Bellamy, Regina Madeline Bennett, magna cum laude, Hannah Gates Bernard, magna cum laude, Casey Burgess Blake, Charmaine Nashe Branch, Carly Elizabeth Bland, magna cum laude, Brianna Nicole Bridges, Kevin Jamal Brown, Allison Marie Call, Mackenzie Devine Kang, Deasia Kendriana Cherry, magna cum laude. Christopher William Coleman. Zachary Lee Colflesh. Molly Lenora Creel. Alexis Mario del Castillo. Jolene Doris Donaldson. Madison Elise Drinkwater, cum laude. Morgan Elizabeth Elliott. Carolyn Bernice Espinosa. Chandler Platt Faircloth, magna cum laude. Kimberly Patricia Fasanello. Nicholas Sebastian Feltman. Andrew Nathan Fiorentino, magna cum laude. Jalen Brian Four. Katrina Lindsay Gallo, magna cum laude. Jacob Price Galt. Hannah Russell Gerald, cum laude. Allison Olivia Graham. Sarah J. Hess. Amanda Heimer. Taylor Victoria Huffman, magna cum laude. Jordan Farrell Johnson. Lakelyn Teal Johnson, magna cum laude. Kelsey Emily Knaus, magna cum laude. Danielle Christine Krosick. Brianna Louise Khrushchevsky, cum laude. Jillian Michelle Kuchik, summa cum laude. Caitlin Rose LaBelle Hux. Farron Marie Lane. Jessica May Lemke. Destiny Darian Lewis Hayward. Andrew Wesley Lovell. Ciara Marion Matula, cum laude. Casey Victoria McDonald. Savannah Lee McLean. Kaylee Nicole McNeely. Maggie Louise Moore, magna cum laude. Amanda Taylor Moorhead, cum laude. Brittany Catherine Morgan. Elizabeth Nicole Neese, cum laude. Bronson Robert Neal. Alexa Lynn Newell, magna cum laude. Jensen Taylor Newsom, magna cum laude. Kristen Elaine Oken. Kelsey Nicole Hart O'Neill, magna cum laude. Gabrielle Elizabeth Willett, cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Phillips. Marion Lee Pittman. Cornethia Danielle Presley. Caitlin Grace Puckaber, magna cum laude. Alyssa Paige Rosinski, cum laude. Dallas Shea Ryan. Kimberly Sherelle Rice. Allison Rachel Rivers, cum laude. Nicholas Robert Grossa. Catherine Lynn Rumry, summa cum laude. Rekona Alisharovna Seyfitinova, magna cum laude. Leanne Marie Schutz, magna cum laude. Tracy Olaria Scoville, magna cum laude. Brittany Mariah Shelley. Miranda Nicole Skipper. Landon Cole Smith. Gabrielle A. Smachinsky, magna cum laude. Alexandria Jean Steinmetz, magna cum laude. Savannah Carson Thompson. Taylor Lynn Vahey. Aaron Gervais Williams.
Hello, class of 2020. I'm Diane Sanders, class of 2005 and executive director of alumni relations here at Coastal. And I'm excited to be the first to say to you, congratulations, alumni. You made it. It is truly an honor to be a part of this virtual celebration with you. More than 36,000 alumni from 50 states and numerous countries all around the world join me in congratulating you on your hard-earned achievement. You are now a member of this exclusive group that we proudly call Alumni of Coastal Carolina University. Members of your alumni family include today's keynote speaker, a 3-time Olympian, and the head coach of the 2016 College World Series National Championship baseball team, just to name a few. We look forward to your rise to greatness. As a new graduate, we are providing each of you today with a 1-year membership into the Coastal Carolina University Alumni Association. Through the Alumni Association, you will discover many opportunities to be involved with your alma mater. I encourage you to visit campus as often as you can, attend local or regional alumni events, and please know that your Office of Alumni Relations will always be here as a resource for you. In the years ahead, I hope that you continue to stay connected to Coastal as alumni, as volunteers, as ambassadors, and just proud supporters. By continuing to engage with CCU, you will pave the way for those who come after you. Your active participation will strengthen this already thriving university. As alumni, you make us proud and show the value of a Coastal Carolina University degree. Be proud and celebrate this day and your great accomplishments wherever you are. And remember, you will forever be a Chanticleer and a member of Teal Nation.
As a final note to our graduates, I hope you continue to embrace the spirit of the Chanticleer as you journey ahead. And I hope that your time spent here at Coastal, the impact you've made, the achievements, and the challenges you have overcome has provided you with irreplaceable experiences, lasting friendships, life lessons, and motivation to make a positive difference within your communities and in the lives of those in your midst. The alma mater will now play, guiding you into the next part of this celebration. Congratulations, class of 2020. Go Chants.
We come to you to lead our search and learn to reach beyond ourselves, below the earth, beyond the stars, to form our dreams for better years. Here, great and bronze in nature light, sweet pine forests that surround us, ocean waters that sustain us, reflect your standards that prepare us. May we return in thought and care to share your promise of enrichment and celebrate and sing our praise for Coastal Carolina.
Good job! There's nothing that'll hold you back from here on out.
I am so proud of you all. You've done a great job.
We are so proud of you. Go and get them, Shants.
We look forward to keeping in touch with you.
We're so proud to see how you were so successful.
Good luck, best wishes.
This is such an accomplishment. We can't wait to see what you do out there in education.
way to go. This is an awesome experience that you've had.
We'd like to say congratulations, and we're so very proud of you. Shots up.